Welcome to E.P.S.I Revived. My name is Jill. For you, my regular viewers, you know E.P.S.I Revived, the show where we talk with each other and discuss things that are affecting us as women. If you're new, I'm happy to have you. Thank you for joining us. Okay, today we are going to continue the talk on emotion or your mind and your feelings. There's so many things to talk about our mind and how we think and what we feel and the stages that we go through when we're dealing with difficult decisions or whatever we have to do, whatever we are going through. So today, last time we spoke about Joseph's situation, and I'm going to still talk about that and the other individuals. And for you who know the Bible and study the Bible, know what I'm talking about when I mention Joseph. And there are others that we can speak about. Well, I want to zone in specifically on Joseph, because Joseph's story speaks about dysfunction in the family. And all of our families have dysfunction, varying dysfunction. What dysfunction my family may have, your family may have a different dysfunction, something else that bothers or that plagues, some generational curse that passed them. But each and every one of our families, we all have dysfunction. And we know what Joseph's dysfunction was. His brothers were jealous and envious of him. Where it may not be jealousy in our family or families, there are other things that plague us. So we have to look back and say, at times, as painful as it may seem, whatever we are going through, there's a purpose and a plan. While you are going through it, while I'm going through the morning, is this really necessary for me to go through to learn a lesson? But yes, that's why I'm sharing my story, that you wouldn't have to go through the same situation, that you would learn something from my story that to prevent you from dealing with the same thing. We don't need to go through our struggles by ourselves. My story can be a testimony to help you, to prevent you from making the same mistake, from you from making to the same shortfalls, as we say. So then my story is, okay, if Jill did X, Y, and Z and this happened, I'm going to try my best not to do the same thing. I'm going to try my best to stay clear of that same problem. So that times when we think our situation is improving, because at times we send double signals to our families and friends. We send double signals. We are nice, we are cooperative, we are supportive at one time, and another time we are disrespectful, we are rude. And our behavior, sometimes you wonder, this is not the person I thought this person would be. If someone have told me my brother, my husband, my mother, my father, my sister would have been like this, I would not have believed. Because of the person who you see living with you day by day. Their behavior, at times, you may even have a discussion with the individual. Go over some situation and you think it's resolved. You think you are getting a headway. And then you okay. And then the person just changed, like apparently they went and have conversation with someone else, something. And the decision that you came to, the final arrangement that you made, was just thrown out the window. But you know what? When you look back, you say, okay, what lesson is this for me to learn today? Because a day is going to come, it came for me. I'm not going to be being, not being nice, but I'm stop trying to be civil when you've been disrespectful on and on. Trying to be civil, being civil, being kind, being respectful, and then you trampling on my respect, my kind nature, my Christ-like mannerism, because as a Christian, I must reflect Christ in all things. But you keep trampling on my emotions, my respect, have no regards whatsoever for my feelings, while the other person wants to do what they like, when they like, how they like. But in the meantime, trampling on your right to do what you choose to do. Just say, no more. I'm done. I'm done Not being nice, but playing nice with you. I'm done turning the other cheek. I'm not going to disrespect. I'm not going to slander or lie or make the other people feel that we are not friends, we don't have a relationship. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that at all. Because I have to be Christ-like in everything I do. Like Joseph, in everything, Joseph was Christ-like. Joseph didn't give in to his brothers' harsh treatment. He cried and he wept bitterly because of the way his brothers treated him. He went and he lived with Potiphar, served him well. He was lied on by Potiphar's wife, yet he didn't defend himself. That's where I'm getting better at. Not defending myself, not speaking. I'm getting very good at that. Before, I want to defend myself. I want to make my point. I want to let you know that I know what's happening. But I've gotten to the point where, okay, you don't need to know that I know what's happening. I don't need to make a point. I don't need to clarify anything. I don't need to clear my name. You do whatever you do. I'll be like Joseph. I'll sit back and wait and see what God is doing, because I know God is doing something. And that is what I'm encouraging you, sisters. Sit back and see what God is doing. You don't have to retaliate. You don't have to clear your name. You don't have to let anyone know what you know. Just do what is right, as I said before. Keep being Christ-like. Keep being respectful. However, don't allow yourself to be mistreated and disrespected and walk upon because you're being Christ-like. Because you want to be respectful. At times, while Joseph was in prison, he told the cupbearer, when you go out to serve the king, remember me. So yes, there are people who will be able to speak up for you. When you don't speak up for yourself, God will put someone in your path to speak for you. Because as Joseph's imprisonment didn't last forever, your imprisonment would last forever. Mine imprisonment would last forever. It's emotional, mental, psychological. It will not last. It cannot last. You know why? Because you are God's child. I am God's child. And because we are God's children, we will be victorious. Because God never failed. Jesus never failed. So we can't fail. We will not fail. We cannot fail. We just have to stand up for what is right in a godly manner, in a godlike manner. The Bible says, whatever we do, we do it as unto God. We should say, okay, if Christ was here, would I act this way? Would I speak in this manner? Whatever we say, whatever we do, let it be that if someone else overheard or see, it wouldn't be a dishonor to God's name. At times, because we are Christian, we sit back and we allow ourselves to be abused and disrespected and humiliated, all in the name of being Christians. No. We don't have to put up with disrespect. We don't have to, they can say what they want. They can speak to whomever they want, say whatever they want about us. But guess what? You will be vindicated. God will vindicate you. Because a lie would have to be told again to cover up another lie, and another lie, and another lie. So the more they make you look bad, slandering your name and saying things about you that is not true, they would have to keep lying and come and put another story and another story and another story to cover everyone, because guess what? They know what they're saying is not right. They know what they're saying is not true. So in all of this, like Joseph, stay faithful. Keep your mind on Christ and do what is right. You see, Joseph became the second commander in the king of Egypt. Not because he retaliated. Not because he wanted to clear his name. No, he just continued to do what is right. Being obedient, being faithful, being honest, being just. The fruit of the Spirit. Come on. The fruit of the Spirit. Let's bear the fruit of the Spirit. Like this morning, there was a reading that I read that spoke about the analogy of a pool. A pool is filled with water, but the water is stagnant. because nothing is running out from it. You have to treat the pool, you have to clean your pool. I was by my friend, and when the rain comes, there's dust and muck in the pool. Not a lot. And in the morning, the husband would sweep the pool and clean the pool, and he has to do it so that the pool can be clean. But if you're a river and rain comes and the mud comes in, guess what? It flows all the way down to the bottom. Because the river keep giving and pouring, it waters the plants, the trees that are on its banks. The trees and the plants and everything that on its banks fortified. Some bring forth fruits, some grow nice and strong, because the river keep giving clean water. Even when the other water is there, it's not stagnant, it's not still. It runs down to the bottom, out into the ocean. So you keep giving like the river. And as you give, as the river give, people around you would be watered, would be nourished, would be encouraged, because you give what is in you: love, joy, peace, kindness, goodness. In spite of, you still give. You still reflect the fruit of the Spirit. You still give from that fountain that never will run dry. Don't be a pool. You can't afford to be a pool. Because if you're a pool one day, water will get stagnant. If there's no one to clean it, it will get stagnant and stink. And you can't afford that. We can't afford that. Let's not follow the trend of the world. We know what the world says we should do. We know what the world says we should do. We know what the world says how we should react. Our family member, how they want us to react. Because our families and friends. I was speaking to my girlfriend in the week, and she was so mad and outraged with me. She said, why are you putting up with this nonsense? Why are you tolerating this nonsense? You don't need to do that. I said, that's all right. With God and me, God and I have the majority. So that I don't need to worry. With God on my side, God and I, we are a majority. That's why I'm not worrying. That's why I'm not worrying. So I would encourage you, my sister, don't worry when you're stressed, when you feel alone. When you are alone, you may not feel alone, but when you are alone and you're in your thoughts, sometimes tears will come to your eyes. You're not sad, you're not angry, but when you think about things that you know you can respond in kind, but you choose not to. You can be harsh and disrespectful and rude, but you choose not to, because that's not who you are. That's not who God called you to be. You cry to God, thank you. Thank you for bringing me this far. Thank you for freeing me from that personality, where as soon as someone say or do something to me, I will respond in kind. I would say, God, thank you. Thank you that I'm not what I used to be. Thank you that you're pushing me in a better place to a better place. I thank you for what you allowed to happen in my life to make me who I am today. So when you're in your quiet place, when you're talking to God, when you're meditating, when you're reading, and you experience that joy, real peace, not an artificial joy and peace that you get from being in a friendship with someone. Because guess what? Once you use that friendship, you got to find another friend to get that peace and that joy. So that peace, that joy, that happiness, it's not real. The happiness, the joy, the peace that you get from God, that comes from God, it's real. In the midst of pain, in the midst of struggle, in the midst of sadness, you can still rejoice, because that joy, that peace, that happiness, it's genuine. It's real, because it comes from God, and only God can give it. Not things, not a friendship with someone. Sometimes we go and we jump from friendship to friendship, from relationship to relationship, because we're looking for something that we don't have. We're looking for something in these relationships with people, in our workplace. We become a workaholic, because we want to identify with something. We want to be somebody, we want to be something. So we become a workaholic, we want to be the best at the job. We want to be the friend to everyone. We want to be nice to everyone because we want them to say, oh, she's a nice person. She's a good person. She's doing this and she's doing that. So you get your gratification and your joy and your happiness from being around people who talk good about you all the time. It's not real because you're not being real. You're not being a real self. So the persons, whether at your workplace, in the community, who's seen this nice, loving, caring person, only your personality. That's not your character. That's not who you are. They don't know the real you as yet. You understand? So don't allow yourself to be caught up in this and them saying he did and she did that. No. That will drive you crazy. Yes, from the beginning it will. But I got past it. It doesn't bother me anymore. I don't want to say I don't care. It doesn't have any effect on me anymore. It doesn't affect me anymore. What is said, what is done, because what? I'm leaning on the everlasting arm. Leaning on Jesus Christ, my Savior. Safe and secure from all alarm. Leaning on Jesus Christ, my Savior. Leaning on his everlasting arm. So I'm imploring you to the sisters to lean on Jesus' everlasting arm. Be like Joseph. Be like Hannah. Hannah went up to the temple and she cried and she prayed. And guess what? She didn't have one child. She had children. But God bless her faithfulness. So you're going to weep, weeping may endure for a night. But, that word but, joy comes in the morning. Yes. And your morning is coming. Mine has come. And trust me, it's sweet. It is a sweet, sweet thing to know. You can trust in God, yes. You can trust in God amid the storm. You can wake up to God. There's some storm and some wind. You still speak to wind and wave. You did it for Joseph, and I know you can do it for me. And he can do it for you. He did it for Hannah and my sister. He can and will do it for you. So just trust him. Just pray. Just keep hoping. He is a God of the impossible. Sometimes it seems like he's 4 days late, 4 years late. But guess what? He's always on time. He never fails. Thank you again for watching me. Thank you for joining me on E.P.S.I Revived as we encourage each other not to stay in the mindset of being sad and gloomy and being worried and displaced about what people think you should do and how people think you should act. No. Follow God's guidance. Follow God's step and let God tell you what to do, when to do, and how to do what he wants you to do. That's the only way you're going to be free. That's the only way you're going to be happy. That's the only way you're going to be joyful. Thanks again, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you're new, please, yes, like E.P.S.I Revived, share and subscribe so that others can get a view or hear or join you in what we are sharing. Thanks so once again, and join me in the kitchen as we share some healthy recipe, because guess what? E.P.S.I Revived is about a holistic body, spiritually, physically, and mentally. So when it's and get our minds right, our body right, our hearts right. Thank you very much for joining me again. God bless you. Hello and good day. Welcome to E.P.S.I Revived. If you are new here, my name is Jill. And this is E.P.S.I Revived, where we encourage women to be strong, be brave, be bold in the path that God has for them, even after going through difficult times, whether it's an illness, a divorce, loss of job, that there is still hope. Today, I'm going to share with you my smoothie routine. I've been sick recently, and I've been drinking this smoothie to help me recover. It's a little bit different than my normal smoothie that I drink. But as I'm trying to recover, I add some things to it that I don't usually add to it. So this is what I have. I have some strawberries, some blackberries, some raspberries, some ripe bananas. 1 second. Some blueberries. This is where it's different from my regular smoothie. I'm going to add some peanut butter. I have the Smucker's or natural creamy peanut butter. I'm just going to put one big scoop, one big spoonful. I'm going to add 1 glass of milk. You know it's not the regular milk. Now I'm going to add 1 big spoon of flaxseed. I'm going to add 1 teaspoonful of spirulina. And spirulina has a lot of nutrients. It's filled with protein. So I use one teaspoonful of spirulina, 1 big heaping of flaxseed. And what I do with my berries, I get the fresh fruits. I wash them, clean them, and I freeze them. Like I have my raspberry here. I got a fresh raspberry and freeze it and clean it and put it in the fridge, and all my other fruits. When I have my bananas and they're very ripe, I peel them and put them in the fridge, in the freezer. When I'm ready, I take it out, take one out, and I cut it in pieces. So then that's what I do with my fruit. So then in my smoothie, I have raspberry, blackberry, blueberries, banana, flaxseed, spirulina, peanut butter. Peanut butter and the milk is the addition that I, on a regular day with my smoothie, I would not put peanut butter and milk. I'll use water and just blend. But because I'm recovering from being ill, I use the milk and the peanut butter so I can get some energy and some protein back in my smoothie much faster. So here we go, blending. You can add whatever else you want. I just stick to the berries and the banana for my smoothie. I just stick with the berries and the banana. Yeah, so this is my breakfast for this morning. And as it contains blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, strawberries, bananas, spirulina, flaxseed, almond butter, and milk, some soy milk. Regularly, I would not add the peanut butter and the milk, but because I'm trying to get some protein back into my diet after being ill, I add the peanut butter and the protein. I only usually add water with my fruits, and with my fruits, my flaxseed and my spirulina, I add water and blend. And it tastes very well also. So this is my breakfast for today. I will like make yours and tell me what it's like. Enjoy. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me again on E.P.S.I Revived. And again, my name is Jill. Thank you for coming. For those who are new, thank you for joining us. Share the word, spread the word, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.